Let us begin by understanding the true nature of silence. Silence, my dear friends, is not merely the absence of sound. It is not a void or a lack of something. On the contrary, silence is a profound presence. It is the very foundation upon which all of creation rests. In the depths of silence, we find the infinite potential of all that is, was, and ever will be. It is in silence that we connect with our true selves, with the I am presence that is the core of our being. When we choose to be silent, we are not retreating from the world. We are not hiding or avoiding our problems. Instead, we are tapping into the very source of all power, all wisdom, and all creation. We are aligning ourselves with the infinite intelligence that orchestrates the cosmos. In silence, we find our true voice, not the chattering of the ego, but the whisper of our divine nature. Now let us consider what it means to act. As if nothing bothers you, this, my friends, is not about denial or suppression of our feelings. It is not about pretending that challenges do not exist. Rather, it is about assuming a state of consciousness where we are truly unperturbed by the apparent conditions of the outer world. It is about recognizing that nothing external has the power to disturb our inner peace unless we give it that power. Remember, the outer world is but a reflection of your inner state. When you assume the state of being unbothered, you are declaring to the universe that you are in control of your reactions, your emotions, and your experience of life. You are affirming that you are the master of your destiny, not a victim of circumstances. This principle is beautifully illustrated in the story of the biblical Daniel in the old lion's den. Daniel, faced with certain death, remained calm and untroubled. He did not fight against his circumstances, nor did he plead for his life. Instead, he maintained his faith and his inner peace. And in doing so, he changed the very nature of his reality. The lions which should have devoured him became as harmless as house cats in his presence. This, my dear listeners, is the power that lies within you. When you cultivate inner silence and assume the state of being unbothered, you too can transform the very nature of your reality. The challenges that once seemed insurmountable become opportunities for growth. The people who once irritated you become teachers and catalysts for your evolution. The circumstances that once troubled you become stepping stones on your path to greatness. But how? You might ask, do we achieve the state of inner silence and unperturbedness? The answer, as always, lies in the power of your wonderful human imagination. Your imagination is the gateway to the realm of infinite possibilities. It is through your imagination that you can experience any state of consciousness you desire. I invite you now to close your eyes and imagine yourself as a vast calm ocean. On the surface, waves may rise and fall, storms may come and go, but in the depths, there is only profound peace and stillness. This is your true nature. The disturbances on the surface, the challenges, the irritations, the apparent problems of life, they are but temporary ripples on the vast expanse of your being. Feel yourself as this ocean. Feel the immense power and peace that lies within you. Know that no matter how close you are to the surface, your depths remain undisturbed, serene, and full of potential. This is the state of consciousness we aim to cultivate and maintain. Now open your eyes and carry this feeling with you as you go about your day. Practice being this vast ocean. When challenges arise, when people or circumstances threaten to disturb your peace, remember your true nature. Remain silent, not out of fear or avoidance, but out of a deep knowing that nothing can truly disturb your inner calm. This practice, my friends, is not about passivity. It is not about allowing others to walk all over you or ignoring genuine injustices in the world. Rather, it is about responding to life from a place of centered power, rather than reactivity. It is about choosing your battles wisely and recognizing that most of the things that seem to bother us are in truth inconsequential in the grand scheme of our eternal being. When you master the art of being silent and acting as if nothing bothers you, you become a force of nature. You become like the eye of a hurricane, calm, centered, and powerful amidst the storms of life. From this state, you can take inspired action when necessary, speak words of power when needed, and create change in your world with grace and ease. Consider for a moment the great spiritual teachers and leaders throughout history. Think of Buddha, of Jesus, of Gandhi. These were not weak or passive individuals. They were not doormats that allowed life to walk all over them. On the contrary, they were immensely powerful beings who changed the course of history. And yet they all practiced the art of inner silence and remaining unperturbed in the face of great challenges. Jesus, when faced with accusations and threats, often remained silent. His silence was not weakness, but a demonstration of his unshakable connection to his divine nature. Buddha, under the Bodhi tree, remained unmoved by the temptations and threats of Marius. Stillness was the key to his enlightenment. Gandhi, in the face of great oppression and violence, maintained a state of inner peace that gave him the strength to lead him with strength. You, my dear friends, have this same power within you. You are cut from the same divine cloth as these great beings. The only difference is that they fully realized and embodied their true nature, while most of us are still in the process of awakening to our divine potential. As you practice being silent and acting as if nothing bothers you, you will begin to notice profound changes in your life. First and foremost, you will experience a deep sense of peace and well-being that is not dependent on external circumstances. This inner peace is your birthright, and as you claim it, you will find that it becomes your constant companion, supporting you through all of life's ups and downs. Secondly, you will notice that your relationships begin to transform. When you no longer react to every little irritation, when you maintain your inner calm in the face of other storms, you become a stabilizing force in your relationships. People will be naturally drawn to your peaceful presence. Conflicts that once seemed insurmountable will begin to resolve themselves effortlessly. Think about it. How many arguments, how many conflicts in your life have been exacerbated by your reactive responses? How often have you added fuel to the fire of a disagreement by allowing yourself to be provoked into anger or defensiveness? When you master the art of silence and non-reaction, you remove the fuel that keeps these conflicts burning. You create space for understanding, for compassion, for resolution. Thirdly, you will find that your ability to manifest your desires increases dramatically. Remember, it is your state of consciousness that creates your realities. When you maintain a state of calm, centered power, you align yourself with the creative forces of the universe. Your thoughts and intentions become more focused, more powerful. You no longer waste energy on worry, on stress, on pointless conflicts. Instead, all of your energy is channeled into the creation of your desired reality. Imagine yourself as a radio transmitter. When you are constantly reacting to every little disturbance, your signal is fuzzy, filled with static. The universe cannot clearly receive your broadcast. But when you maintain inner silence and calm, your signal becomes crystal clear. The universe can then respond with perfect clarity, bringing into your experience the exact matches to your inner state. Now, I want to address a common misconception about this practice. Some may think that being silent and acting as if nothing bothers you means becoming emotionless or detached from life. Nothing could be further from the truth. This practice is not about suppressing your emotions or denying your human experience. It's about transcending the limited reactive ego self and operating from your higher divine self. From this higher state of consciousness, you actually become more fully alive, more present, more engaged with life. You experience emotions more deeply, but you are not controlled by them. You acknowledge challenges, but you are not defined by them. You participate fully in the dance of life, but you do so from a place of choice rather than compulsion. Think of it like this. When you're watching a movie, you can become fully engrossed in the story, feeling joy, sadness, excitement, and fear along with the characters. But at the same time, there's a part of you that knows it's just a movie. This knowing doesn't diminish your enjoyment of the film. On the contrary, it allows you to fully immerse yourself in the experience without being overwhelmed by it. In the same way, when you master the art of inner silence and non-reaction, you can fully participate in the movie of your life. You can experience all the joys, challenges, and adventures that life has to offer, but you do so from a place of centered awareness, always connected to your true, unchanging self. This state of being is what the ancient yogis called witnessing consciousness. It's the ability to be fully present and engaged in life while simultaneously maintaining a sense of detached observation. From this state, you can navigate life's challenges with grace and ease, making choices from a place of wisdom, reactivity. Now, let's explore some practical ways to cultivate the state of inner silence and non-reaction in your daily life. The first and most powerful tool at your disposal is, as always, your imagination. Each day, take some time to imagine yourself as that vast, calm ocean we discussed earlier. Feel the immense peace and power that is your true nature. As you go about your day, carry this feeling with you. When challenges arise, return to this image and this feeling. Another powerful practice is mindful breathing. Your breath is a constant reminder of your connection to the infinite. When you find yourself becoming reactive or disturbed, turn your attention to your breath. Take slow, deep breaths, feeling the calm that naturally arises as you do so. With each inhale, imagine you're drawing in peace and power. With each exhale, release any tension or reactivity. You can also practice what I call the pause. Whenever you feel triggered or bothered by something, pause before reacting. In that pause, ask yourself, is this really worth disturbing my peace? How would my highest self respond to this situation? This simple practice can prevent countless unnecessary conflicts and keep you aligned with your true, unbothered state. Another powerful technique is to practice seeing the divine in all things and all people. When someone irritates you, instead of reacting to their behavior, try to see the divine spark within them. Remember that they, like you, are a perfect expression of God, even if they're not fully aware of it yet. This shift in perception can transform your relationships and your entire experience of life. Now I want to address a question that may be arising in some of your minds. You might be thinking, but Wayne, surely there are times when we need to speak up, when we need to take action against injustice or wrongdoing. And you are absolutely right. The art of being silent and acting as if nothing bothers you is not about becoming a passive observer of life. It's about choosing your responses wisely and acting from a place of centered power rather than reactivity. When you master this art, you'll find that you become more effective in creating positive change in the world. Your words, when you choose to speak, will carry more weight because they come from a place of inner silence and wisdom. Your actions, when you choose to act, will be more impactful because they're not clouded by emotional reactivity. Think of the great change makers in history. Martin Luther King Jr., for example, faced immense opposition and violence, yet he maintained an inner calm and responded to hatred with love. His power came not from angry reactivity, but from a deep, unshakable connection to his highest self and his divine purpose. You too have this power within you. As you practice being silent and acting as if nothing bothers you, you're not retreating from the world. You're preparing yourself to engage with the world in a more powerful and effective way. Now, let's delve deeper into the transformative power of this practice. When you consistently maintain inner silence and act as if nothing bothers you, you begin to shift the very fabric of your reality. Remember, the outer world is a reflection of your inner state. As you cultivate inner peace and non-reactivity, you'll notice that your external circumstances begin to align with this new state of being. Challenges that once seemed insurmountable will begin to resolve themselves. People who once irritated you will either change their behavior or naturally fade from your experience. Opportunities that align with your highest good will present themselves with increasing frequency. It's as if the universe conspires to support your new state of being. This is not magic or wishful thinking. This is the law of consciousness in action. You are literally reshaping your world by reshaping your consciousness. As you persist in this new state, you'll find that maintaining inner peace becomes easier and more natural. What once required conscious effort will become your default state of being. Imagine for a moment a life where you're no longer at the mercy of external circumstances. A life where you're no longer tossed about by the storms of emotion and reactivity. A life where you navigate challenges with grace and ease, always connected to your inner source of peace and power. This is the life that awaits you as you master the art of being silent and acting as if nothing bothers you. But remember, my dear friends, this is not a destination to be reached. It's a journey, a continuous unfolding of your divine nature. There will be times when you falter, when you momentarily forget your true nature and get caught up in reactivity. When this happens, be gentle with yourself. Remember that even these moments of forgetting are part of your journey. They are opportunities to practice returning to your center, to your true unbothered state. As you continue on this journey, you'll find that your influence on the world around you begins to change. You become a calm center in the midst of chaos, a source of peace in a world of turmoil. People will naturally be drawn to your presence, seeking the peace and stability that you embody. You become like a tuning fork, silently resonating at the frequency of peace and non-reactivity. Those around you will naturally begin to attune themselves to your frequency. Without saying a word, without taking any overt action, you begin to transform the world around you simply by being who you truly are. This, my friends, is the true power of being silent and acting as if nothing bothers you. It's not about passivity or avoidance. It's about embodying your highest self, your true divine nature, and allowing that embodiment to transform your world from the inside out. As we near the end of our exploration, I want to leave you with a powerful practice to help you integrate this teaching into your daily life. Each night before you go to sleep, take a few moments to review your day, but instead of focusing on what went wrong or what bothered you, imagine how your day would have unfolded if you had maintained perfect inner silence and acted as if nothing bothered you. See yourself navigating each situation from a place of calm, centered power. Feel the peace and ease that comes with this state. As you drift off to sleep, carry this feeling with you. Let it seep into your subconscious mind, reprogramming your default responses. Then, as you awake each morning, before you even open your eyes, remind yourself of your true nature. Feel yourself as that vast, calm ocean. Set the intention to carry this feeling with you throughout your day, no matter what arises. As you consistently practice this, you'll find that your waking life begins to align more and more with these imagined scenarios. You'll find yourself naturally responding to life's challenges from a place of peace and non-reactivity. You'll be living proof of the transformative power of consciousness. My dear friends, as we come to the close of our time together, I want to remind you of the immense power that lies within you. You are not small, limited beings at the mercy of a chaotic world. You are divine creators, shaping your reality with every thought, every feeling, every state of consciousness you assume. The practice of being silent and acting as if nothing bothers you is not about denying your human experience or suppressing your emotions. It's about transcending the limitations of the ego and aligning with your true divine nature. It's about recognizing that your peace, your power, and your joy do not depend on external circumstances, but on your inner state of being. As you go forth from here, I encourage you to embrace this practice with all your heart. Let it become not just something you do, but who you are. Let the silence within you speak louder than the noise of the world. Let your unperturbedness become a beacon of peace in a world that so desperately needs it. Remember, you are the operant power in your world. Your consciousness creates your reality. As you master the art of inner silence and non-reactivity, you become a master creator of your own reality. You become a master creator, shaping your world with the power of your being. So go forth, my dear friends, and be the embodiment of peace in a world of chaos. Be the calm center in the midst of the storm. Be the living proof of the transformative power of consciousness. For in doing so, you not only transform your own life, but you contribute to the transformation of our entire world. Thank you, and may your journey of self-discovery and self-mastery bring you to the full realization of your divine nature and the complete manifestation of your heart's desires.
You may wonder, what does it mean to do it alone? Is it a call to isolation? A rejection of the world around us? No, my beloved, it is quite the opposite. To do it alone is to recognize the divinity within you, to understand that you are the operant power in your world, and that all creation begins in the sanctum of your own mind. Consider for a moment the great masters throughout history. Did they not retreat into solitude to commune with the infinite? Did not prophets venture into the wilderness to receive their revelations? Even the Christ, in his moments of greatest significance, withdrew from the crowds to pray alone. This, my friends, is the essence of doing it alone, not in physical isolation, but in the realization that you and you alone are the author of your life story. Let us delve deeper into this concept. When I say do it alone, I speak of the inner work, the labor of consciousness that no one else can perform for you. It is the intimate dance between your imagination and the infinite possibilities that lie dormant within you. This dance, this sacred communion, can only be experienced in the privacy of your own being. Think of it this way. When you enter a dream at night, do you bring others with you? No, you enter that realm alone, and in that state, you are the creator, the director, and the star of your nocturnal adventures. Your waking life, I assure you, is no different. You are dreaming it into existence with every thought, every assumption, every inner conversation. But some of you might protest, surely we need others in our lives. Surely we cannot exist in isolation. And to this I say, of course, the outer world, the people in your life, they are all vital and beautiful parts of your experience. But understand this, they are not the cause of your experience, they are the effect. They are the reflections of your inner state, the manifestations of your consciousness. When you truly grasp this, when you internalize the knowledge that you are the operant power, you will see that all the help you need, all the love you seek, all the success you desire, it all begins within you. You do not need to manipulate others or beg the world for favors. You need only to adjust your inner state to align your consciousness with your desires, and the outer world will rearrange itself to match your vision. This, my dear friends, is the true meaning of doing it alone. It is the recognition that you are not a mere fragment in a vast, uncaring universe, but that you are the universe itself focused into this particular point of time and space. You are God in distribution, experiencing yourself through the vessel of your human form. Now, let us explore how this principle applies to your daily life. Imagine you desire a new job, a position that fills you with excitement and purpose. The common approach would be to scour job listings, to network feverishly, to plead your case to potential employers. And while these outer actions may have their place, they are not the source of your success. Instead, I urge you to do it alone. Retreat into the theater of your mind. There in that sacred space, see yourself already occupying that position. Feel the satisfaction of doing work that inspires you. Hear the congratulations of your colleagues. Experience the pride of your loved ones. Make this inner experience so vivid, so real, that when you open your eyes, you will be surprised to find yourself still in your current circumstances. This, my friends, is the art of assumption. When you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, when you live from the end as if it were already a reality, you set in motion forces beyond your conscious understanding. The entire universe conspires to bring about the conditions that match your inner state. But remember, this is not mere positive thinking or idle daydreaming. This is a fundamental shift in your concept of self. You are not trying to change things, you are changing the thinker. You are revising your own identity to match your desire. Let me share with you a profound truth. The outer world is dead. Yes, you heard me correctly. The world you perceive with your senses is but a shadow, a reflection of past thoughts and assumptions. It has no power to create, no ability to cause. It can only reflect what you hold in your consciousness. This may seem a stark statement, perhaps even a disturbing one, but I assure you it is the key to your freedom. For if the outer world is dead, if it has no power to create or cause, then you are liberated from its seeming constraints. You are free to create anew, to assume a new state of consciousness, and to watch as the outer world reshapes itself to match your inner vision. This is why I implore you to do it alone. For in the solitude of your consciousness, in the privacy of your imagination, you hold the power to reshape your entire existence. No one else can do this for you. No external force can grant you this power. It is your birthright, your inherent nature as a creative being. Consider the great inventors and innovators throughout history. Did they not first conceive their creations in the solitude of their minds? Did not every great work of art, every scientific breakthrough, every technological marvel first exist as a seed in someone's imagination? These individuals understood, perhaps intuitively, the power of doing it alone. But let us be clear, doing it alone does not mean you must physically isolate yourself from others. It does not mean you should reject help or collaboration when it presents itself. Rather, it means that you recognize that the primary creative act occurs within you. The outer actions, the physical steps you take, are simply the outward expression of an inner conviction. Think of it this way. When you plant a seed in the ground, do you dig it up every day to check its progress? Do you attempt to force the sprout to emerge, to manipulate the leaves into unfurling? Of course not. You plant the seed, you provide the proper conditions, and then you allow the innate intelligence in that seed to do its work. Your desires, your goals, your aspirations, these are seeds you plant in the fertile soil of your consciousness. Your task is not to force them to manifestation through sheer will or endless action. Your task is to plant them properly, to nurture them with your assumption of their fulfillment, and then to allow them to grow and manifest in their own divine timing. This is the art of doing it alone. It is the recognition that you are the gardener of your own mind, the cultivator of our own reality. No one else can plant these seeds for you. No one else can assume the ceiling of their fulfillment on your behalf. This is your sacred duty, your divine right, and your ultimate power. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Wayne, what about the challenges I face? What about the obstacles in my path to this? I say these challenges, these obstacles, they are not what you think they are. They are not external forces conspiring against you. They are not proof of your limitations or your unworthiness. No, my dear friends, these challenges are invitations. They are calls to go deeper into yourself, to strengthen your conviction, to purify assumption. Every obstacle you face is an opportunity to do it alone, to retreat into the workroom of your imagination, and to revise your concept of self. Remember, The outer world can only reflect what you hold in consciousness. If you accept the obstacle as real, if you allow it to shake your conviction, then you give it power over you. But if you recognize it for what it truly is, a shadow, a reflection of past thoughts, then you can dissolve it in the light of your new assumption. This is why I often speak of revision. When you face a challenge or encounter an undesirable circumstance, do not accept it as final. Do not allow it to define your reality. Instead, in the privacy of your imagination, revise the event. See it unfolding as you would have preferred. Feel the relief, the joy, the satisfaction of this revised version. You might ask, but Wayne, how can I revise something that has already happened? To this, I say time is an illusion. The past, present, and future exist simultaneously in the eternal now of your consciousness. When you revise an event in your imagination, you are not changing the past in a linear sense. You are selecting a different version of events from the infinite possibilities that exist in the dimension of consciousness. This is the power of doing it alone. In the solitude of your mind, you can revise any event, reshape any circumstance, and redefine any aspect of your life. The outer world, bound as it is to reflect your inner state, must then rearrange itself to match your new assumption. But let us delve even deeper into this concept of doing it alone. It is not merely about manifesting specific desires or revising unwanted events. It is about a fundamental shift in your understanding of what you are. You see, my beloved, when I speak of doing it alone, I am pointing you towards the realization of your true identity. You are not the limited mortal creature you appear to be. You are not defined by your circumstances, your past, or the opinions of others. You are, in truth, the very essence of creation itself, temporarily focused into this particular point of view. This is why no one else can do it for you. This is why all the self-help books, all the motivational seminars, all the well-meaning advice from friends and family are potentially useful, can never be the source of your transformation. They can point the way, they can offer techniques and insights, but the actual work, the sacred labor of consciousness, can only be done by you alone in the depths of your being. Consider for a moment the story of Moses receiving the 10 Commandments. He did not bring the multitudes with him to the top of Mount Sinai. He ascended alone into the cloud of unknowing to commune with the divine. This story, like all great spiritual allegories, is not about an external historical event. It is about the inner journey that each of us must undertake. You, my dear friend, are Moses. The mountain is your own consciousness. The cloud is the mystery of your own being. And the commandments, they are the laws of your own nature, the principles by which you create your reality. But you must ascend alone. You must enter the cloud alone. You must receive the revelation alone. This solitary journey is not a burden, but a privilege. It is the recognition of your divine nature, your innate creative power. When you truly understand this, when you fully embody this truth, you will never again feel alone in the common sense of the word. For you will know that you are one with the source of all creation, that you are the very substance from which all things are formed. Now, let us consider how this principle of doing it alone applies to your relationships with others. Some of you might worry that this teaching promotes selfishness or isolation. Nothing could be further from the truth. When you learn to do it alone, when you recognize your own divine nature, you become capable of truly loving others. You see, most human relationships are based on need, on the belief that we are incomplete without the other. We seek in others what we believe we lack in ourselves. But when you know that you are complete, that you contain within yourself the fullness of being, then your relationships transform. You no longer approach others from a place of lack or need, but from a place of fullness and love. This is the paradox of doing it alone. It enables you to connect more deeply with others. For when you no longer need others to compete you can appreciate them for who they truly are. You can love them freely without conditions or expectations. You can allow them to be themselves without trying to change them to fit your needs. Consider the sun. Does it shine only on those it deems worthy? Does it withhold its light from those it judges undeserving? No, it shines on all equally, giving of itself freely and abundantly. This is how you will relate to others when you master the art of doing it alone. You will be like the sun, radiating love and creativity, not because you need anything in return, but because it is your nature to do so. But to reach this state, you must first do the inner work alone. You must confront your own shadows, face your own fears, and dissolve your own limiting beliefs. This is not always easy. It requires courage, persistence, and faith. But I assure you, my dear friends, the rewards are beyond anything you can imagine. For when you learn to do it alone, you discover that you are never truly alone. You realize that you are one with the creative power of the universe. You understand that all things are possible to you, for you are the very substance from which all things are formed. This is why I often speak of the state of wish fulfilled. When you enter into the feeling of your wish fulfilled, when you live from the end as if your desire were already a reality, you are doing it alone in the true sense. You are not waiting for external circumstances to change. You are not dependent on the actions or approval of others. You are creating from within, shaping your reality through the power of your assumption. But remember, this is not about forcing or struggling. It is not about willpower in the conventional sense. It is about aligning yourself with the natural creative process of the universe. Just as a seed does not strain to become a tree, you do not need to strain to manifest your desires. You need only to assume the right state of consciousness to feel the naturalness of your wish fulfilled, and then to allow the outer world to reshape itself accordingly. This trust in the process is itself a form of doing it alone, for it requires you to release your attachment to external results, to let go of your need to control the how and when of your manifestation. It asks you to have faith in your own creative power, to trust in the wisdom of your own being. Think of a great artist at work. When they stand before a blank canvas, do they doubt their ability to create? Do they worry about where the paint will come from or how the brushes will move? No, they simply begin allowing the creative impulse to flow through them. They trust in their own artistic vision, in their own creative power. You, my dear friend, are the artist of your own life. Your consciousness is the canvas, your imagination, the brush, and your assumptions, the paint. And like the artist, you must trust in your own creative power. You must have faith in your ability to shape your reality. This faith, this trust is the essence of doing it alone. It is the recognition that all the power you need is already within you. It is the understanding that you are not separate from the creative force of the universe, but are that very force itself focused into this particular point of view. Now, let us address a question that may arise in your minds. Some of you might be thinking, but Wayne, if I am doing it alone, if I am the creator of my reality, why do I sometimes experience unwanted circumstances? Why do I face challenges and difficulties? This is a profound question, and it strikes at the heart of our discussion. The answer lies in understanding the nature of consciousness and the process of creation. You see, your outer world is not created by your conscious thoughts alone. It is shaped by the totality of your consciousness, including your deepest beliefs, your habitual thoughts, and even the aspects of yourself that you may not be consciously aware of. When you experience unwanted circumstances, it is not a failure of your creative power. It is simply a reflection of some aspect of your consciousness that you may not have fully recognized or addressed. This is why doing it alone is so crucial. It requires you to delve deep into your own being, to confront and transform the hidden beliefs and assumptions that may be shaping them in reality in ways you don't consciously intend. Consider for a moment the concept of self-talk, the inner conversations you have with yourself throughout the day. These conversations, often occurring below the level of conscious awareness, are powerful creative forces. They are, in essence, the way you do it alone all the time, whether you realize it or not. If your inner conversations are filled with doubt, fear, or limitation, then these states will be reflected in your outer experience. But the wonderful news is that you have the power to change these conversations. You can consciously choose new thoughts, new assumptions, new inner dialogues that align with your desires. This is not about forced positive thinking or denying the reality of your current circumstances. It is about recognizing that your inner world is the true creative realm, and that by changing your inner conversations, you inevitably change your outer world. Let me share with a technique that I have found particularly powerful in this regard. I call it eavesdropping on your future self. Here's how it works. Imagine yourself in the future, having already achieved your desire. Listen carefully to the conversations you would be having in that state. What would you be saying to yourself? What would others be saying to you? Now, bring those conversations into your present. Begin to speak to yourself as if your desire were already fulfilled. Have imaginary conversations with others where they congratulate you on your success. Feel the naturalness of these conversations, the ease with which they flow. This technique is a powerful way of doing it alone. It allows you to align your inner world with the reality you wish to create regardless of your current circumstances. And as you persist in these new inner conversations, you will find your outer world beginning to shift and change to match your whole. But remember, my dear friends, this is not about escaping reality or living in a fantasy world. It is about recognizing the true nature of reality itself. What you perceive as the real world is simply the outpicturing of consciousness. By changing your consciousness, you literally change your world. This is why I often say that there is no such thing as fiction. Every story, every imagined scenario exists as a reality in the dimension of consciousness. When you imagine yourself in a desired state, you are not creating something new. You are tuning into an already existing reality, a version of yourself that already possesses what you desire. Your task then is not to create this reality, but to align yourself with it. This alignment happens within you in the privacy of your own consciousness. It is a solitary act, a sacred communion between you and the infinite possibilities that exist within you. This is the deepest meaning of doing it alone. It is the recognition that you are the operant power in your world, that you are the one who selects and animates the particular version of reality you experience. No one else can do this for you. No external power can grant you this ability. It is your inherent nature, your divine birthright. But let us be clear, doing it alone does not mean you must struggle or strain. It does not mean you must cut yourself off from others or reject help when it is offered. Rather, it means recognizing that the primary creative act occurs within you in the realm of your imagination and assumption. Think of it this way when you go to sleep at night. Do you worry about how your heart will continue to beat, how your lungs will continue to breathe? Of course not. You trust in the innate wisdom of your body to carry out these functions without your conscious control. In the same way, when you plant a seed in your consciousness, through imagination and assumption, you can trust in the innate creative power of your being to bring it to fruition. Your role is to plant the seed, to nurture with your faith and expectancy, and then to allow it to grow and manifest in its own divine timing. This allowing, this trust is itself a form of doing it alone. It requires you to release your attachment to external results, to let go of your need to control every aspect of the manifestation process. It asks you to have faith in your own creative power, to trust in the wisdom of your own being. Now, some of you may be wondering, but Wayne, what about action? Don't we need to take action in the world to achieve our goals? This is an excellent question, and it brings us to a crucial point in our discussion. Action is indeed important, but not in the way most people think. You see, inspired action flows naturally from a changed state of consciousness. When you have truly assumed the feeling of your wish fulfilled, when you are living from the end, the appropriate actions will arise spontaneously. You will find yourself naturally doing the things that you desire, manifestation of your desire. This is very different from the common approach of trying to force results through sheer willpower or endless activity. Such forced action often comes from a place of lack or fear, and it rarely leads to lasting fulfillment. Instead, when you do it alone, when you change your state of consciousness first, your actions become effortless expressions of your new state of being. Consider the example of learning a new skill like playing a musical instrument. At first, your actions may feel forced and unnatural. You have to consciously think about every movement, every note. But as you practice, as you begin to embody the state of being a musician, your actions become more fluid, more natural. You no longer have to think about every little movement. The music simply flows through you. This is how manifestation works when you truly understand the principle of doing it alone. You don't force the outer actions. You change your inner state, and the appropriate actions flow naturally from that state. But there's an even deeper truth here, my dear friends. As you advance in your understanding and application of these principles, you may find that less and less outer action is required. For when you are truly aligned with your desire and consciousness, the entire universe moves to bring about its manifestation. This is what I mean when I say that creation is finished. All possible states, all possible versions of reality already exist in the dimension of consciousness. Your task is not to create these realities, but to select and animate the one you desire through your assumption and feeling. This selection, this animation happens within you. It is a solitary act, a sacred communion between you and the infinite possibilities that exist within you. This is why no one else can do it for you. This is why you must do it alone. But remember, doing it alone does not mean you are separate or isolated from the world around you. Quite the opposite. When you master the art of doing it alone, you realize your oneness with all of creation. You understand the entire universe is yourself pushed out, that every person, every circumstance in your life is a reflection of your own consciousness. This realization is profoundly liberating, for it means that you are not at the mercy of external circumstances. You are not a victim of fate or chance. You are the author of your own story, the creator of your own reality. But with this great power comes great responsibility. For if you are the creator of your reality, then you must take full responsibility for your life experience. You can no longer blame others for your circumstances. You can no longer see yourself as a victim of external forces. This responsibility may seem daunting at first, but I assure you it is the key to your freedom. For when you take full responsibility for your life, you reclaim your power to change it. You recognize that if you created your current circumstances through your assumptions and beliefs, you can create new circumstances through new assumptions and beliefs. This is the essence of doing it alone. It is the recognition that you are the operant power in your world, that you are the one who selects and animates the particular version of reality you experience. No one else can do this for you. No external power can grant you this ability. It is your inherent nature, your divine birthright. But let us delve even deeper into this concept. When I say do it alone, I am not just referring to the manifestation of specific desires or the achievement of particular goals. I am pointing you towards a fundamental shift in your understanding of who and what you are. You see, my beloved, you are not the limited mortal creature you appear to be. You are not defined by your body, your circumstances, or your personal history. These are but costumes you wear, roles you play in the grand drama of existence. Your true identity is far greater, far more magnificent than you can possibly imagine. You are, in essence, the very consciousness from which all things arise. You are the dreamer of this dream we call life. When you truly grasp this, when you fully embody this truth, the idea of doing it alone takes on a whole new meaning. For you realize that there is no other to rely on, no external source of power or wisdom to appeal to. You are it. You are all there is. This realization can be both exhilarating and terrifying. It means that you are fully responsible for your experience of life. It means that you can no longer blame others or circumstances for your situation. But it also means that you have the power to change anything and everything in your life. Consider for a moment the implications of this truth. If you are the dreamer of your life, then everything and everyone in your experience is a reflection of your own consciousness. The people you interact with, the circumstances you encounter, the very world you perceive, all of it is you pushed out. This is why doing it alone is so crucial. For if everything is a reflection of your consciousness, then the only place where change can truly occur is within you. Our reflection can only change when you change. But here's the beautiful paradox. When you fully embrace the idea of doing it alone, when you take complete responsibility for your life experience, you also realize your profound connection to all of existence. For if you are the dreamer of your life, and if everything in your experience is you pushed out, then you are, in a very real sense, everything and everyone. This realization dissolves the illusion of separation. It reveals the underlying unity of all things, and from this place of unity, true love and compassion naturally arise. For how can you not love others when you recognize them as aspects of yourself? This is why the great spiritual teachers throughout history have emphasized self-realization. They understood that true transformation, true liberation can only come from within. They knew that each of us must make this journey alone, must discover our true nature for ourselves. But make no mistake, my dear friends, this journey of self-discovery, this process of doing it alone is not always easy. It requires courage, persistence, and faith. It asks you to question everything you thought you knew about yourself and the world. It challenges you to let go of all beliefs and limitations. There may be times when you feel lost or confused. There may be moments when you doubt yourself. And this teaching, this is natural. It is part of the process. But I urge you to persist, for on the other side of this struggle lies a freedom and a joy beyond anything you can currently imagine. Remember, you are not alone in this journey. While you must do the inner work yourself, you are supported by the very universe you are creating. Every challenge you face, every obstacle you encounter is an opportunity for growth and self-discovery. It is your own higher self calling you to awaken to your true nature. As you continue on this path of doing it alone, you will begin to experience life in a completely new way. You will no longer feel at the mercy of external circumstances. You will no longer seek validation or approval from others. You will stand firm in the knowledge of your own divine nature, your own creative power. From this place of inner certainty, you will find that life begins to flow with an ease and grace you never thought possible. Opportunities will seem to arise spontaneously. Desires will manifest with surprising speed and in unexpected ways. You will experience a deep sense of peace and fulfillment, regardless of outer conditions, but perhaps the most beautiful transformation will be in your relationships with others. As you learn to do it alone, as you discover your own completeness, you will no longer approach relationships from a place of need or lack. Instead, you will come from a place of fullness, of love freely given without condition or expectation. You will see others not as separate entities to be manipulated or controlled, but as beloved aspects of yourself, as unique expressions of the same consciousness that you are. This shift in perception will transform all your relationships, bringing a depth of love and understanding you may have thought impossible. And as you move through the world from this state of consciousness, you will naturally inspire others. Without effort or intention, you will serve as a living example of what is possible. Your very being will be a testament to the power of doing it alone, of taking responsibility for one's own consciousness. But remember, my dear friends, this is not about becoming some perfect, flawless being. It is about embracing all aspects of yourself, including your perceived flaws and weaknesses, for these too are part of the magnificent tapestry of your being, part of the unique way in which the infinite expresses itself through you. Doing it alone means loving all of yourself, accepting all of your experiences as part of your journey of self-discovery. It means recognizing that even your mistakes and failures are opportunities for growth and deeper understanding. As you continue to apply these principles, as you persist in the practice of doing it alone, you will find that your entire perception of life begins to shift. What once seemed solid and fixed will reveal itself to be fluid and responsive to your consciousness. The world will become a living, breathing reflection of your Indian state. You will begin to see that every person, every circumstance, every experience in your life is a gift, a perfectly orchestrated opportunity for you to know yourself more fully, to express your divine nature more completely. Even the challenges and difficulties you face will be recognized as sacred invitations to grow and evolve. This shift in perception, this new way of experiencing life, is the true fruit of doing it alone. It is the realization of your divine nature, the embodiment of your creative power. It is the fulfillment of your purpose as a unique expression of the infinite. But let me be clear, my beloved, the state of consciousness is not some distant goal to be achieved in the future. It is not something you need to strive for or earn. It is your true nature, your natural state of being. It is available to you here and now in this very moment. All that is required is a shift in your assumption, a change in your concept of self. And this shift, this change can only occur within you. It is something you must do alone. So I urge you, my dear friends, embrace this teaching. Take it into your hearts and minds. Test it in the laboratory of your own experience, for it is only through your own direct experience that you will truly understand the power and the beauty of doing it alone. Remember, you are not separate from the creative power of the universe. You are that very power focused into this particular point of view. You are the operant power in your world, the author of your own story, the creator of your own reality. Embrace this truth. Live from this understanding, do it alone, and watch as your world transforms before your very eyes. And now, my beloved, as we draw this discourse to a close, I want you to take a moment to reflect on all that we have discussed. Feel the truth of these words resonating within you. Know that you have within you all the power you need to shape your life, to create your reality, to fulfill your deepest desires. Go forth from this place with a new understanding of your true nature, a new appreciation of your creative power. Let every thought, every feeling, every action be an expression of this truth, live from the state of your wish fulfilled, knowing that as you do so, You are shaping the very fabric of your reality. Remember, my dear friends, you are never truly alone, for you are one with the source of all creation, one with the infinite possibility that exists within consciousness. In doing it alone, you align yourself with this infinite power, this boundless creativity. So step boldly into your divine inheritance, claim your rightful place as a conscious creator, as a living expression of the infinite. Do it alone, and in doing so, discover your inseparable oneness with all that is. May your journey be filled with joy, with wonder, and with the deep satisfaction that comes from living in alignment with your true nature. May you always remember the power that lies within you, the divine creativity that expresses itself through you. And above all, may you never forget that you are loved, you are supported, and you are infinitely powerful, for you are God in distribution, experiencing itself through the unique and beautiful expression that is you. Go now and do it alone. Create the life you desire. Be the person you wish to be, for in truth, you already are that person. You need only to recognize and embody this truth. Thank you, my beloved, for your attention, for your openness, and for your willingness to explore these profound truths. May your life be a testament to the power of doing it alone, a shining example of what is possible when we fully embrace our divine nature. And with that, I bid you farewell, knowing that we are never truly separate, for we are all one in the grand tapestry of consciousness. Until we meet again in this form or another, remember you are the operant power. You are the creator, you are divine. Now go forth and do it alone.
Now, you may wonder, what does it mean to be silent? And why should we act as if we have nothing to lose? These questions, my dear listeners, are the very gateway to your transformation. For in silence, we find the fertile soil of creation, and in acting as if we have nothing to lose, we embrace the limitless nature of our true selves. Let us begin with silence. When I speak of silence, I do not merely refer to the absence of sound, though that is certainly a part of it. No, the silence I speak of is a profound inner quietude, a stilling of the mind's incessant chatter, a cessation of the doubts and fears that so often plague our consciousness. This silence is the canvas upon which we paint the masterpiece of our desires. Imagine, if you will, a tranquil lake at dawn. The surface is mirror smooth, reflecting the sky above in perfect clarity. This lake is your mind in true silence. In this state, the thoughts you choose to entertain, the images you decide to hold, are reflected with astounding power and precision into the vast universe of creation. But how does one achieve this silence? It is not through force or struggle, for these only create more noise. Instead, it is through gentle awareness, through the conscious decision to observe your thoughts without judgment, to let them pass like clouds in the sky, neither clinging to them nor pushing them away. As you cultivate this inner silence, you begin to hear the whispers of your true self, the voice of your divine nature that has always been there, waiting patiently for you to leave it. This voice, my friends, is the voice of God within you, for you are not separate from the creative force of the universe. You are that force individualized and made manifest. In this silence, you will find that your desires, your true desires, not the petty ones of the ego, but the deep longings of your soul, become clear. And it is here, in this clarity, that we begin to act as if we have nothing to lose. Now, what does it mean to act as if you have nothing to lose? It means to live from the end, to embody the state of your wish fulfilled with such conviction that the world has no choice but to conform to your assumption. It means to walk in the absolute knowing that what you desire is already yours, not in some distant future, but here and now. Consider for a moment the story of the prodigal son. When he returned home, broken and destitute, his father did not see him as he appeared in that moment. No, the father saw his son as he truly was, whole and complete. And in seeing him thus, The father called for the finest robe, for a ring, for a celebration. He acted as if his son had never been lost, as if there was nothing to forgive, nothing to lose. This, my dear listeners, is how we must approach our desires. We must clothe ourselves in the feeling of our wish fulfilled, wear the ring of our rightful inheritance, and celebrate our victory even before it is visible to the mortal eye. For what is seen is temporal, but what is unseen is eternal. But you may ask, Gabriel, how can I act as if I have nothing to lose when I feel so much fear, so much doubt? And to this I say, your fear, your doubt, these are but shadows cast by the light of your true power. They have no substance of their own. They are the creations of your mind, just as surely as your successes and your joys. To act as if you have nothing to lose is to recognize that in truth, you have nothing to lose but your limitations. You have nothing to lose but your false beliefs about who you are and what you're capable of. You have nothing to lose but the chains you've placed upon yourself. Imagine for a moment that you are an actor on the stage. The role you've been playing up until now has been one of limitation, of fear of seer, of scarcity. But now you've been handed a new script. In this new role, you are abundance incarnate. You are fearless. You are the master of your fate, the captain of your soul. Would you refuse to play this new part simply because you've grown accustomed to the old one? Of course not. You would embrace it with all your heart, with all your skill as a performer. This, my friends, is exactly what I'm asking you to do in your life. Embrace the role of the person who has already achieved their desire. Feel it, live it, breathe it. Let every cell of your body vibrate with the knowing that what you seek is already yours. Now you might be thinking, but Wayne, surely this is deception. Surely this is lying to myself, and to this I say, there is no deception here. For the world you see around you is nothing more than the outpicturing of your old life. Your current circumstances are the fruit of seeds planted by your past assumptions. Therefore, to assume a new state is not to lie, but to plant new seeds, to choose a new reality. Remember, the universe is infinite, boundless, and plastic. It takes the shape of your dominant assumptions. When you truly grasp this, when you internalize this truth, you will understand that you truly have nothing to lose by assuming your desire is fulfilled. For in doing so, you are simply aligning yourself with the reality you wish to experience. Let me share with you a principle that has transformed countless lives, the law of assumption. This law states that if you assume you are what you want to be and continue in that assumption, it will harden into fact. This is not positive thinking, not mere wishful daydreaming. This is the conscious direction of your creative power, the same power that beats your heart and grows your fingernails. To act as if you have nothing to lose is to fully embrace this law. It is to say, I am what I want to be. Here and now, it is to walk through the world as if your desire is already fulfilled, regardless of any seeming contradictions in your physical environment. Consider the biblical story of Joshua and the walls of Jericho. Joshua and his army were commanded to march around the city walls for 7 days, blowing trumpets. On the seventh day, they were to give a great shout and the walls would fall. Now, imagine being one of those soldiers. Day after day, you march, you blow your trumpet, and nothing seems to change. The walls stand as firm as ever. Would you not be tempted to doubt, to question, to give up? But Joshua and his men persisted. They acted as if they had nothing to lose, as if their victory was assured. And on that seventh day, when they gave their mighty shout, the walls came tumbling down. This, my friends, is the power of persistent assumption. This is what it means to act as if you have nothing to lose. You continue in your assumption, you persist in your faith, even when all visible evidence seems to contradict it. For you know that the visible world is but a shadow, a reflection of the unseen world of your consciousness. Now let us delve deeper into the art of being silent. Silence in this context is not merely the absence of speech. It is a profound state of inner peace and receptivity. It is the silence of a mind no longer at war with itself, no longer divided against its own desires. In this silence, you become acutely aware of the thoughts that pass through your mind. You begin to notice the habitual patterns of thinking that have shaped your life up to this point. And in this noticing, you gain the power to choose differently. For many of us, our minds are like a crowded marketplace full of competing voices, each clamoring for attention. There's the voice of doubt, always ready to point out why something won't work. There's the voice of fear, constantly alerting us to potential dangers and pitfalls. There's the voice of unworthiness, telling us we don't deserve what we desire. But in cultivating inner silence, we create space. We create distance between ourselves and these thoughts. We begin to see them for what they are, not absolute truth, but simply habits of mind, patterns of thinking that we've allowed to run unchecked for far too long. In this silence, we can finally hear the still, small voice of our true self. This voice speaks not in words, but in feelings and intuitions, in sudden flashes of insight. It is the voice of our divine nature, the part of us that is one with the creative force of the universe. And what does this voice tell us? It tells us that we are limitless beings, that we are one with the source of all creation. It tells us that our desires are not random or capricious, but are in fact the universe calling us toward our highest expression of self. When we listen to this voice, when we align ourselves with its wisdom, we naturally begin to act as if we have nothing to lose. But we realize that in truth, we have everything to gain. We realize that every desire that has been planted in our heart comes with the power to fulfill it. Think of a seed. Within that tiny speck is contained everything needed to become a mighty oak tree. It doesn't worry about how it will grow, where it will find the resources to become so large. It simply begins to grow, acting as if it has nothing to lose. You, my dear listeners, are like that seed. Within you is contained everything you need to become the person you desire to be, to achieve everything you wish to achieve. Your job is not to figure out how it will happen, but simply to begin growing, to begin assuming the state of your wish fulfilled. Now, some of you may be thinking, but never I've tried this before. I've tried to believe, to have faith, and nothing changed to this. I say persistence is key. Remember the story of Joshua and the walls of Jericho. They didn't fall on the first day or the second or even the sixth. It was only through persistent assumption, through continuing to act as if the walls would fall, that the miracle occurred. Your desired state, your wish fulfilled, is your promised land. And like the Israelites in the desert, you may face times of doubt, times when it seems you're wandering in circles. But I assure you, if you persist in your assumption, if you continue to act as if you have nothing to lose, your Jericho walls will fall. Let me share with you a technique that can help you maintain this state of assumption, even in the face of seeming contradictions. It's called the Lullaby method. Just as a mother soothes her child to sleep with a gentle lullaby, you can lull your conscious mind into acceptance of your desirous fact. Choose a short, simple phrase that implies your wish is fulfilled. It might be something like, "Thank you for my perfect health," or "I am so grateful for my wonderful new job," or "Isn't it wonderful that I am now happily married?" Repeat this phrase to yourself gently, lovingly, as you drift off to sleep each night. As you do this, feel the reality of these words. Feel the gratitude, the joy, the satisfaction of having what you desire. Let this feeling permeate your entire being. This is not merely affirmation. It is the active assumption of the state of your wish fulfilled. By doing this night after night, you are impressing your subconscious mind with the reality of your desire. You are planting seeds in the fertile soil of your imagination, seeds that will inevitably sprout and bear fruit in your physical reality. Now, let's address another aspect of acting as if you have nothing to lose, a willingness to take inspired action. Some people misunderstand the law of assumption, thinking it means they should sit back and wait for their desires to magically appear. But this is not the case at all. When you truly assume the state of your wish fulfilled, when you fully embody the person who has what you desire, you will naturally be moved to take actions in alignment with that state. These actions may not always be what you expect, and they may not always be comfortable, but they will always be in service of your assumption. For example, if you are assuming the state of being a successful business owner, you might feel inspired to attend networking events, to reach out to potential clients, to study successful business strategies. These actions arise naturally from your assumed state. You're not forcing yourself to do them out of a sense of obligation or fear. Rather, they feel like the natural, obvious things to do, given who you now know yourself to be. This is what it means to act as if you have nothing to lose. You take inspired action without attachment to the outcome, without fear of failure or rejection. For you know that your assumption, your inner conviction, is the true creative force. The actions you take are simply allowing that inner reality to express itself in the outer world. Remember, the outer world is plastic fluid, constantly changing in response to your inner state. When you act from a place of lack, of fear, of scarcity, the world reflects that back to you. But when you act from a place of abundance, of confidence, of knowing that your desire is already fulfilled, the world has no choice but to reshape itself to match your assumption. This brings us to another crucial point, the importance of detachment. When I say act as if you have nothing to lose, I'm not suggesting that you become reckless or careless. Rather, I'm inviting you to detach from the need for specific outcomes, to release your grip on how things should unfold. Think of it this way. When you plant a seed in the ground, you don't dig it up every day to see if it's growing. You trust in the natural process of growth. You provide water and sunlight, but you don't try to force the seed to sprout. You know that in its own time, in its own way, it will grow into a plant. Similarly, when you plant the seed of your desire in the fertile soil of your imagination, you must trust in the natural process of manifestation. You continue to water it with your assumption to provide the sunlight of your faith, but you don't try to force it into being. You trust that in its own time, in its own way, it will come to fruition. This detachment, this willingness to trust in the process is a crucial aspect of acting as if you have nothing to lose. For in truth, what do you have to lose by trusting in the creative power of your own consciousness? What do you have to lose by assuming that your desires are already fulfilled? The only things you can lose are your limitations, your fears, your doubts. And are these not the very things you wish to be free from? Are these not the very chains that have been holding you back from living the life you truly desire? So I say to you, be bold in your assumptions, be daring in your imagination. For your imagination is not some idle fantasy factory, but the very workshop of creation. It is the place where all things, all experiences, all states of being are first conceived before they are brought forth into physical reality. When you truly grasp this, when you fully embody this truth, you will understand why silence is so crucial, for it is in silence that you can hear the whispers of your imagination. It is in silence that you can feel the stirrings of your desire taking shape within you. And it is from this place of inner silence, this place of knowing, that you can then go forth and act as if you have nothing to lose. For in truth, you have everything to gain. You have a whole new world to gain, a world shaped by your highest assumptions, your noblest desires. Let me share with you a practice that can help you maintain this state of silent knowing, this state of acting, as if you have nothing to lose. It's called living from the end each day. Take a few moments to fully immerse yourself in the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Close your eyes and see yourself as you would be. Feel as you would feel if your desire were already a reality. Perhaps you desire financial abundance. In your imagination, feel the sense of security, of freedom, of generosity that comes with having more than enough. See yourself easily paying your bills, enjoying luxuries, sharing your wealth with others. Feel the gratitude, the joy, the peace that comes with this state. Or perhaps you desire a loving relationship. In your imagination, feel the warmth of your partner's embrace, the joy of shared laughter, the deep sense of connection and understanding. Feel the love flowing from you into you, the sense of completeness and harmony that comes from this union. Whatever your desire may be, live from the end. Experience it fully in your imagination. Let every cell of your body vibrate with the knowing that this is your reality. And then, from this state of knowing, go about your day. Let your actions, your words, your choices all stem from this assumed state. This, my friends, is what it truly means to be silent and act as if you have nothing to lose. It means to cultivate an unknowing so profound that the outer world cannot help but conform to it. It means to live from the end, to embody your desire so completely that it has no choice but to manifest in your physical reality. Now, some of you may be wondering, but Wayne, what about the challenges, the obstacles, the setbacks that we inevitably face in life? How can we maintain this state of assumption in the face of seeming failure or disappointment? To this, I say, remember that what you see in the outer world is always a reflection of past assumptions, past states of consciousness. It is like the wake behind a boat. It tells you where you've been, but it does not determine where you're going. When you encounter challenges or setbacks, see them for what they truly are. Opportunities to strengthen your assumption, to deepen your faith in the creative power of your consciousness. Instead of allowing these experiences to shake your conviction, use them as fuel to more firmly establish yourself in the state of your wish fulfilled. For example, if you're assuming the state of perfect health and you experience a bout of illness, don't see this as a failure of your assumption. Instead, see it as the old state of consciousness playing itself out, clearing the way for your new, healthier state to fully establish itself. Use this experience to more firmly anchor yourself in the feeling of perfect health. This is what it means to act as if you have nothing to lose. It means to hold fast to your assumption regardless of outer appearances. It means to know with unshakable certainty that your inner state is the only true reality and that the outer world must inevitably conform to it. Remember, the outer world is like a shadow. It has no substance, no reality of its own. It simply reflects the light of your consciousness. Change your consciousness and the shadow must change. This is an immutable law of creation. So I say to you, be silent, still the noisy chatter of your mind. Listen to the voice of your true self, the voice of your divine nature, and from this place of inner silence, act as if you have nothing to lose. For in truth, you have everything to gain. You are not a helpless victim of circumstances. You are not at the mercy of outside forces. You are the operant power in your world. You are the author of your life story. Every experience, every circumstance, every person in your life is there because you have assumed them into being. Realize this truth, embody this truth, live from this truth, and watch as your world transforms before your very eyes. In conclusion, my dear friends, I urge you to embrace this powerful principle. Be silent and act as if you have nothing to lose. Cultivate that inner silence, that state of receptivity where you can hear the whispers of your true self. And from that place of knowing, go forth boldly, assuming the state of your wish fulfilled. Remember, you are not seeking to change the world. You are seeking to change yourself. And as you change, the world must change with you, for you and the world are one. You are the world pushed out. So dream boldly, assume daringly, act confidently. For you truly have nothing to lose but your limitations and everything to gain. A whole new world shaped by your highest assumptions and noblest desires. Go forth, my friends, and create the life you've always dreamed of. For you are the architects of your own destiny, the creators of your own reality. Be silent and act as if you have nothing to lose. For in this silence, in this assumption, lies the key to all that you desire. Thank you. And may your imagination be filled with wonders beyond measure.